How y'all doing, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want up to 15 free stocks, Mumu is going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you open a new brokerage account and try out their brokerage account. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks. When you deposit $100 in your Mumu account, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. When you deposit $1,000 in your Mumu account, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. There's a link, guys, down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Mumu link. Open up your new Mumu account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. I'm also going to be using the Mumu brokerage app to buy all of my paper assets to transfer some wealth to myself in 2024 and beyond. So if you want to rock with me and use the same brokerage app I'm using, click on that link down in the description box. Don't delay. Get started today. Go get started today and start transferring some wealth to you and your family. If you want to copy my plan, I got 3 big boy, blue chip paper assets I'm going to be buying over these next 10 years that I believe gives me the opportunity to double my net worth. And I'm going to be using that Mumu app to buy my paper assets to do that. If you want to copy my plan and know what my wealth transfer blueprint is, and those 3 big boy blue chip investments that I'm going to be buying, paper assets, there's an email address down in the description box. Give me an email or send me an email and let me know you've opened your Mumu account, you funded it, and you want to get that wealth transfer blueprint that I'm going to be following over the next 10 years to double my net worth, and I'll send you that. Well, guys, we got a lot to unpack today, so we might as well go ahead and dive on in. We have Congress and the Fed trying to keep us broke and poor, and I'm going to unpack why I believe they're trying to do that. And I want you guys to pay attention because it's important information that we need to know if we're going to transition ourselves from consumer, right, to investor. This is the type of information we got to know and stay ahead of. Because when things like this happen, most of us ain't paying attention. And that's what the 1% want us to do. They want us to be blind to what's going on in this financial markets, in this economy. They don't want us to pay attention. They want us to stay in the matrix and just be happy to go out and just spend money on stuff we don't need. That's what they want us to do. They don't want us to be concerned like an investor so that we know what's going on in our financial markets and what's going on in our economy. They want us over here where we don't care. All we care about is, when can I get my nails done? When can I go get me a Gucci bag? When can I go get me a new car? That's all they want us to care about that. They don't want to care about us to care about wealth. So let's talk about why Congress and the Fed want to keep us broke and poor. Number one thing is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is going to be going before Congress this week, Wednesday and Thursday. He's going before Congress. Why is he going before Congress? I'm going to tell you that in a second, but let me set the stage for you. Both the Fed and Congress serve at the pleasure of the 1%. Did you hear me? I'm going to repeat that just for those of y'all that didn't hear me. The Fed and Congress serve at the pleasure of the 1%. And here's why I say that, because when you think about Congress, these folks that are elected to the House, that are elected to the Senate, where do you think they get the money for their campaigns? Who do you think fund their campaigns? Either to be elected or re-elected. 1%. Yep. You might send in your $5 donation. You might send in your $10 donation. You may even send in a $100 donation. But the big money to elect these people come from the 1%, right? So who do you think their allegiance is going to be to? The 99%? A little $5, $10, $15, $20 you send in for their election or re-election, or are their allegiance going to be to the 1%, who really put the big bucks? They put them on. They put their commercials on their mainstream media channels. You and I don't own no mainstream media channels. No, we don't. 1% own those. So all these campaign commercials you see running, who do you think own those television stations and those TV networks? 1%. So who do you think they're going to have more allegiance to? The 99% or the 1%? I would say the 1%, right? So how does the Fed play into this? Because see, the Fed has oversight by who? Congress. Why do you think Jay Powell is going to meet with Congress? Congress has oversight over the Federal Reserve. All right? See? So the two work in tandem. Now, if you listen to this meeting on Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be a little adversarial, right? Jay Powell will say one thing, Congress will, but that's all just make-believe. That's all make-believe for the cameras. Behind closed doors, the Fed and Congress serve at the pleasure of the 1%. See, why is that important? When you know that, you know how to move accordingly. You know how to invest accordingly. So when I'm listening to the Fed answer questions for Congress on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, I'll already know both of them serve at the pleasure of the 1%, right? And anything or any outcome from those two-day meeting is for the 1%, not really the 99%. Because remember, the 99%, they don't want us to know anything about building wealth. They want us to just stay in the matrix and spend money on things we don't need. They want us to spend money. They want us to go out and get debt and create liabilities. That's what they want us to do. They do not want us over here as investors like the 1% are. So anything that goes on in that meeting over these next 2 days is not geared to make you more wealthy. It's geared really to protect the 1% and keep them in wealth. You do understand that? So so that we set the stage, let's talk about some of the things that Congress is going to want Jay Powell to answer. Two big things they're going to want him to talk about and answer. One is the banking crisis. They're going to want Jay Powell to talk about that. Two, they're going to want him to talk about these high prices on goods and services. Now, keep in mind, you might think to yourself, well, golly, Richard, they got our best interest in heart. They want prices to come down. Not really. Not really. And we'll talk through why. But those are the two things Congress is going to focus on and try and drill Jay Powell on. And again, guys, all of it is just a mirage. It's a mirage. See, whatever you're going to hear, if you pay attention to that meeting, there are going to be other stuff happening behind closed doors that you'll never hear. See, that's the real meeting. Behind closed doors will be the real meeting, but they got to be public facing as well. Why? Because they got to keep up the facade that they're for the people. So they're going to have the public meeting for 2 days, But really the real meeting you won't ever hear about because it'll be behind closed doors. It'll be at some watering hole in Washington, D.C. after hours that you don't have privy to that watering hole. You got to understand that, guys, right? So those are the two things that Congress is going to try to press in the public meeting to make the people think they got their best interest at heart. Yep, you're going to see some congressman or congresswoman try to tear into Jay Powell in the public meeting. But behind closed doors in the private meeting, they all serve at the pleasure of the 1%. Now, 4 things that Jay Powell is going to want to talk about as risks to our economy, right? He's going to try to justify why they're keeping rates higher for longer. So you got 2 pieces to the puzzle here. You got Congress over here, and then you got Jay Powell. There will be 2 meetings. A public meeting that you and I can watch on TV, C-SPAN, wherever they show it. That's the public meeting. In that public meeting where you and I are going to be watching, both Congress is going to be like they're for the people. Banking regulations, why prices so high? When you going to bring interest rates down? That's the public message for the public meeting. But in the closed door private meeting, they don't care about really any of that stuff. They care about it, but let me tell you why they care about it in the private meeting. And then in the public meeting, Jay Powell is going to talk about some of the risks, matter of fact, 4 risks to our economy. And this is the reason why we're keeping rates higher for longer. So that's going to be the 2-day meeting, right? In my opinion, again, guys, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy here on YouTube just trying to give you my opinion, right? You certainly can go out and do your research and come up with your own opinion. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just telling you what I believe is going to be happening because I know who they work for. I know who they serve at the pleasure of the 1%. See, I know that, but that don't matter to me. I'm still going to make my moves because I remember I told y'all, if you want to build wealth, do what? Got to follow the breadcrumbs. Where do the breadcrumbs lead me when I follow the breadcrumbs? They lead me to the 1%. So all I do is just follow their trail. The little breadcrumbs that they drop along the way to build wealth, I just follow them, right? But these type of meetings are important for us so that we understand what's really happening here. The public-facing meeting, whatever they say, just think the opposite of it. That's my opinion. But you come up with your own conclusion. So let's dive into why Congress will want to drill Jay Powell in the public meeting on banking crises and prices being so high, right? Now, what they really want to, now in the public meeting, they will say, hey, listen, Fed, listen, Jay Powell, we're concerned about these banks failing. That's the public meeting. That's the public meeting now. But in the private meeting, it's the reverse. Listen, Jay Powell, we don't want no banking regulations that will prevent these banks from doing their business. That's the private meeting message. The public meeting message is, hey, why are these banks failing? I'm just telling you guys, that's sort of the way it is. In actuality, really, the Congress really wants to relax regulations on some of these banks. Right? Why? Because these banks donate 1%. They donate a lot of money to they put these people in the seats they're sitting in, guys, is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't think these people just woke up one day and just won the election. No, they were handpicked. They were put there. They were put there. So a public meeting, what are you doing to make sure these banks ain't failing? Private meeting, we don't want more regulations on these banks. We need them to flourish. We're going to backstop them from an FDIC standpoint so that none of these regional or super regionals can fail anymore. That's really the mandate from the banking industry. from the banking lobby. That's the mandate. We don't want more regulations. Private meeting, that's what they'll discuss. Public meeting, they're going to be like they got your best interest at heart. Why are these banks failing? Give us the that kind of thing, right? Prices so high. Okay, all that to me means is, hey, why is inflation still where it's at? Why haven't we gotten inflation below 2%, Jay Powell? That is the public meeting. Why are prices still so high? Why you ain't got inflation down to 2% yet? You've had 2 years to do it. 11 rate hikes, 2 years to do it. We still haven't accomplished it. Why? That's the public meeting. Behind closed doors meeting, it's going to be, listen, hey, we got a boom economy over here for the 1%. They're doing well. We don't want to disrupt that. So whatever you do, Jay Powell, with these prices, with these interest rates, you better keep the 1% in mind. These folks down here in this bust economy, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They got jobs. They got wages. Yes, we do want you at some point to start reducing interest rates, Jay Powell, because why? We need these people to have another outlet to get money to buy things. Right now, their only outlet is they got a job, their wages. They have no personal savings left. Interest rates are too high, Jay Powell, so they can't borrow money. But we get it, but start reducing them at some point because we need them to be able to borrow money again. We need these 99%ers to be able to borrow money again. That's the private meeting. You won't hear that in the public meeting. In the public meeting, it's going to be all about you, all about the people. But the real meeting, the private meeting, that's what they're saying. So Jay Powell is going to focus on 4 things, right? He's going to focus on financial conditions, job recession, and we'll talk about that, what that means. He's going to focus on the banks, right? And then he's going to focus on the housing market. Those are the 4 things I think he'll focus on in some shape, form, or fashion. Again, public meeting, private meeting. Same 4 things will be discussed, but totally different in the public meeting than in the private meeting that you and I don't have privy to, right? Totally different. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. You got to understand when you hear something, especially when it's coming through the mainstream media, you got to really wonder what's really happening. Because what you hear coming out of the mainstream media is not really what's happening. That's not really what's being talked about behind closed doors. I'm just telling you, that's my opinion again. This is not a convince you channel. It's an opinion channel. If you disagree with that, fine. Go do your own homework, create your YouTube channel, and give your opinion. But in my YouTube channel, I get to give my opinion. That's all it is. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. So let's tackle these 4 risks that Jay Powell is going to talk about. Financial conditions, right? So he's going to say, hey, here's where we stand. We still haven't gotten inflation to 2%. Headline inflation is around 3%. Core inflation is still around 3.9%. So we have not gotten inflation where we want it. So therefore, we don't believe we should reduce interest rates anytime soon. But despite the fact we're not ready to reduce short-term interest rates, the economy is doing fine. GDP for 2023 was 3%. GDP for 2024 is expected to be roughly the same. Right? We haven't increased short-term interest rates since July of 2023. And really, inflation has not reversed itself and started drastically going back up. So we're on the right track. We do have some concerns, though. Since we don't have inflation under 2%, we want to pump the brakes. We do not want to reduce in March at their March 20th meeting, which they won't. We do not want to reduce on May 1st. In their third meeting of the year, they won't. They probably won't reduce until around June of this year. That's the message. And the reason they're going to stick to that message is because the economy, the 1% economy now, remember we got two economies, guys. If you've been following me, you know we got two economies. We got a boom economy and we got a bust economy. The boom economy is what he's talking about in this meeting. That's what he's talking about. He ain't talking about the bust economy, because if you take a look at average Americans, the 99%ers like you and I, you ask them about the economy, 56% of them believe we're in trouble. 56% of people believe we're in trouble. But see, that's the 99%ers. They don't care about what you think. All they care about is what the 1% think. Now, when you ask 1%ers, remember I did that Wells Fargo money study yesterday. Remember we talked about that in yesterday's live stream. See, they did that Wells Fargo money study, and you know, the affluent that they interviewed, the affluent people, AKA 1%ers, felt like the economy was great. They were doing great. They're investing, they're buying real estate, they're doing everything they want to do. The economy is great. But when they interviewed the 99%ers, 56% of them said the economy is not doing great. I keep telling y'all guys, we got two economies here. Jay Powell will be talking about the boom economy when he tackles financial conditions. We're not bringing down rates, guys, because guess what? We're not at 2%, but the economy is still resilient. It's doing well. So we feel like it's okay to stay higher for longer. Okay for who? Tips, it sure ain't for the bust economy down here where the 99% are at, keeping rates higher for longer and helping these folks. That's all I'm saying. So that's what he's going to focus on. He's going to talk a little bit about financial conditions and why there won't be a rate cut. That's his rationale is going to be, hey, economy's doing great. The problem is the economy he's talking about is not the economy you and I participate in. He's talking about the economy up here where the 1%ers participate. That economy is doing well. These people are buying assets. These people are living their lifestyle. Their assets are taking care of them. Down here in this bust economy, ain't no assets taking care of nobody. People got liabilities and debt. Paycheck to paycheck. I'm just telling you. So that's number one. Second thing he's going to tackle is this notion of this job recession. Because see, if you've been following what's going on, there are companies that are laying people off. But it's more like legacy companies, big old gigantic companies, right? Who are downsizing not because they're doing bad. They're downsizing because they've come to the realization they don't need all of that excess headcount. Especially with AI technology coming on fast and furious, companies are starting to trim down, especially in the tech sector. The tech sector is trimming down because they kind of got it now and saying, you know something? We don't really care about the 1%. I mean, okay, yeah, we need them, but we really don't need that many of them. So all we're going to do is keep the best and the brightest, and the rest of y'all, 99%, we're going to lay y'all off. Y'all got to go find some work somewhere else. And that's what's been happening. And if you look at the jobs reports over the last several months, what sectors are really adding jobs? It ain't tech companies or big gigantic companies. It's really like the government, healthcare. That's where a lot of the jobs are being added. The government and healthcare. Now, there are some professional services starting to pick up too, but you're talking about that's not necessarily big tech or big legacy gigantic companies. Those type of businesses are starting to lay people off because they've come to the realization we don't need all of y'all. It ain't got nothing to do with the economy being bad. It's just we don't need all of y'all. It's too big of an expense. These big old gigantic legacy companies and these tech companies, man, the biggest expense is you. Payroll, benefits, all this other stuff they got to do. They don't want to do that no more, guys. That's why I keep telling y'all this AI thing is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because the more they can convert to robots and automation, they're going to get rid of you. They don't need no dental plan. They don't need no health care plan. They don't need no 401k. They don't need all that for no robot. They don't need all that for artificial intelligence, automation. Don't need it. They don't need any of that. So this whole job recession thing, yeah, it's happening, but it's not happening the way we thought it would happen. It's not happening to the point where unemployment is starting to go up. Because when tech lays off, guess who hires? Healthcare, right? Or government, or professional services, that kind of stuff. They're just absorbing those jobs, right? So all I'm telling you is this job recession, I don't believe will happen. I don't. I think it'll be, I think the labor market will continue to be resilient. Again, will we see big companies lay people off? Absolutely. But you got to understand they're laying you off because they don't need you anymore. They don't need this excess headcount. That's the reason they're laying you off. They're laying you off because they just don't need this excess headcount. They're trying to get lean and mean and then develop their AI technology to replace a lot of y'all. I keep telling you, that's why you better build some assets and get yourself to some wealth. Because your job is not guaranteed to you. This AI, this artificial intelligence thing is coming. And it's going to take a lot of y'all's jobs. And what AI don't take, these companies just going to lay you off anyways, because a lot of this stuff they're doing right now is automated. Or they're going to outsource it to China, or outsource it to India, or outsource it to some of these other countries who welcome that. Have you picked up the phone lately and tried to call any large company? I don't care if it's AT&T. I don't care if it's Vanguard. Have you noticed something when you call the 800 number? Do those people who are answering that phone sound like they are in America? Do they sound American to you? And again, I'm not knocking nobody, guys. I'm for all people, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here for you. Have you called any of these places? I'm telling you, I called Vanguard 2 days ago. Matter of fact, it was on Friday. This is Vanguard, guys. One of the largest investment firms in America, in the world. I called Vanguard in the United States. Not Vanguard UK, not Vanguard Canada, Vanguard, the regular Vanguard, right here in the United States. The person who I was talking for, and I got transferred to 2 or 3 different people. And again, I'm telling you, I'm no dummy now. They outsourcing that customer service stuff. And it ain't people here in America. It's in a different country. I called AT&T, same thing. Same exact thing. I'm just telling you guys, it's happening. Either AI gonna get you, automation, or they're gonna outsource these jobs, man, where they don't have to pay no benefits like that. These companies getting smart. That's why I'm telling you this job recession thing, yes, people are being laid off. I did a video yesterday about that, but I'm telling you the reasons why they're laying you off. It ain't laying you off because they broke. Or they ain't making no money. They laying you off because they don't need you no more. They've gotten smart. Why in the world do I need to pay all these people payroll, benefits, et cetera, when I don't have to do that anymore? I can automate a part of this and I'll outsource the rest of it to a different country where I ain't got to pay all this crap. That's what's happening. So I'm telling you, Jay Powell will be talking about that, right? But he's not going to talk about it from the point that, oh, I'm concerned about the 99% down here in the bust economy. He's going to talk about it as it relates to inflation. He's going to say, you know, we still need the job market to soften so that people can feel financial pain and stop spending, and that'll help bring inflation down. That's what you're going to hear him say. AKA, I don't care nothing about y'all. This is what we're going to do, and really it's to benefit the 1%. That's my opinion. Let's move on to the third thing I believe he's going to talk about, which is the banks. Because remember, in the public meeting, Congress is going to press it. Why in the world are all these banks failing? We are people in my district. They're concerned. But they ain't concerned about y'all, man. That's the public facing meeting though. That's the public meeting. Behind closed door, you don't even come up. You don't even come up in the private meeting. But in the public meeting, they're gonna say, hey, we want to protect our constituents. We want to protect the people who are put us here. That's the public meeting, right? But in actuality, they don't really care anything about you. In actuality, what they really want to get accomplished is not to put more regulations on these banks. That's really what they want to get accomplished. That's really what Congress wants to get accomplished. They do not want more regulations on these banks. I'm just telling you, that's the real deal, right? So what's going to happen is Jay Powell is going to talk about these failed banks. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and then in 2023, I believe it was First Republic Bank. And then, of course, we got this bank up in New York, this New York Community Bank that's wobbling. But they're not going to let that one fail. I already told y'all, the FDIC has already said, we ain't letting no more banks fail. So they're going to bail them out. And guess who bails them out, really? You do know who bails them out ultimately, right? The taxpayers. And who are the taxpayers? These people down here in the 99% in this bust economy. See how they use us? You down here struggling, paycheck to paycheck, high interest rate credit card debt, all liabilities, no assets, bunch of debt, no emergency savings, might get fired tomorrow, but yet and still, you still pay taxes. And guess where those taxes go? To bail out banks that are owned by who? Majority of them, whether they be public or private, they're owned by the 1%. If they're public banks, look at the shareholder list. Look at the biggest shareholders in any of these public banks. I guarantee you they're billionaires. They're one percenters. Look at the board. Go to any of these board meetings of any of these too big to fail tier 1 banks. Go to the board meeting and see who show up. Ain't gonna be no 99 percenters in there. I promise you that. All 1 percenters are gonna be in that board meeting. See, I'm trying to paint y'all a picture here who these people really that y'all elect to office, who they really are protecting. You look at the private banks, these regional, super regional. Go to any of these private banks. All 1 percenters own them. People that are wealthy, rich. I don't care what bank you go to, guys. 99 percenters don't own it. They don't. 1 percenters own it. Whether they own it through stock or they own it privately. They own it. So in the public, they're going to be, oh, we want to protect our people. But in private, they're really trying to say, no, we don't want no more regulations on banks. We're great. We need to give them the freedom to go ahead and do what? Operate and be profitable and make money so that they can continue to donate to our election campaign or our re-election campaign. That's basically it, right? Because see, this country is about money. You do know anybody that gets put in those seats, whether it be the House, whether it be the Senate, or whether it be the White House. It's paid for by the 1%. So they don't have your best interest at heart, guys. They have the 1%'s best interest at heart because guess what? I've always told you guys, whoever pays you controls your financial destiny. And guess how they get paid? 1%. Now I know you're going to say, no, taxpayers pay them. Yeah, they do. Taxpayers pay their little base salary. But you think all these guys and gals in Congress that done got rich over the last 10 years did it off that little bit of salary that we as taxpayers pay them? Do you really believe that? Do you believe that? No, they didn't. They get rich or they've already gotten rich through the 1%, not through the little taxpayer dollars we pay for their little salaries. No, guys, no. These people find a way to get rich when they get there. Or either they're rich when they get there or they find a way to get rich when they get there. Right? So whoever pays you controls you. No different in Congress. Whoever pays you controls you. No different in the White House. Whoever pays you controls you. Whoever put you there controls you. Right? So we know When they talk about these banks, they're really saying no more regulations, but Jay Powell is going to have to talk about it in the public meeting, right? So he's going to talk about, okay, commercial real estate, right? When you look at commercial real estate, guys, you're talking about $1 trillion in commercial real estate coming due in 2024. Guess who holds most of that commercial real estate? Small community banks. They hold a lot of that commercial real estate, regional and small community banks. Why is that? Because that's where they make their money, at the regional level and the small level when it comes to banks. See, they ain't JP Morgan Chase or Wells Fargo or Bank of America who got, 200 different lines of business, right? So if commercial real estate ain't doing well, maybe investment banking is doing well, maybe whatever. See, these big tier 1, too big to fail banks, they have a lot of ways of making money other than commercial real estate. But when you're talking about regional banks and these small banks, guys, they make the bulk of their money in commercial real estate. I worked for community banks. I worked for regional banks. I know exactly where most of their revenue comes from. At least the interest income, right? A small community bank don't got no Forex desk. It don't have a Forex trading desk. It doesn't have a global equities desk. It doesn't have a derivatives desk. It don't have all of that. They don't have any of that. They don't have international investment banking like JP Morgan Chase does. It doesn't have a mergers and acquisition department. They don't have that. What they have is commercial real estate lending. And then they have some residential real estate lending. That's what most of your small, that's why you see Silicon Valley, Signature, First Republic. That's why they got into trouble and failed. They got into trouble and failed because of bad investments with your deposits. These banks take your deposits and they put them in crap to make money. And guess what? It's legal. It's legal for them to do it. They can do it. Oh, I got my $100,000 sitting in my money market account and I'm getting a 4% return on it. I'm doing great. Problem is, if that bank fails, yeah, you get your FDIC, you'll get your money back, but it's going to take a minute. They're not going to pay you interest on what you've lost when it takes them 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to get you your money back. Who's going to pay for that interest loss? They're not going to pay for it. All I'm telling you guys is not to panic because you got your money in the bank. What I'm telling you is understand how these banks operate and how they make their money. They make their money off of your money. That's why I keep telling y'all, they have no incentive to make you rich with your money that you put in there. They got no incentive to. They're trying to make them rich with the money. I mean, what business that has none of their money in the game? None. These banks got no money in the game, guys. It's all your money they're using to get wealthy. It's all of your deposits that pays these tier 1 bank CEOs like Jamie Dimon's salary. The guy sold about $140 million worth of JP Morgan stock. Who do you pay this guy's salary? So all I'm telling you guys is, listen, when it comes to these banks, understand they use your deposits to make money. They use your deposits to make money. Always have and always will. Their allegiance, if it's a public bank, their allegiance is to the shareholders and their highly compensated executives. That's their allegiance. They don't know you from Adam, right? And if they could, when you walk in that branch, there wouldn't be a human being in there. If they could pull it off, there wouldn't be not one human being in there. Everything would be automated. They're already test piloting that. I think Wells Fargo is already test piloting that somewhere in California. When you walk in there, no bodies, no human beings. Just all automated. There's a credit union right here where I live. You walk in there, no human beings. I'm just telling you. But they take your deposits and do what with it? Invest it in things that they believe they can make money off. The problem is sometimes when they do that, they don't get it right. Allah, AKA Silicon Valley Bank, AKA Signature Bank, AKA First Republic Bank. Sometimes they don't get it right. Right? So that's where Congress, even though they don't get it right, Congress is saying, we still don't want no regulations on them. We still want FDIC to bail out these banks. They're not really bailing out you. They're bailing out the bank. They're not really bailing out you. They're bailing out the bank. And that's what they're going to be talking about on the public side. Behind closed doors, it's going to be, hey, we don't need no more regulations. Let these guys make money. Let these guys do business. That's what the meeting is going to be about behind closed doors. In public, they'll be saying, hey, what's up with these banks failing? What are you doing, Jay Powell, to make sure that kind of stuff. And then the fourth thing they're going to talk about is the housing market, right? That's the fourth risk to the economy is the housing market. What's going on with this housing market? Why is the housing market doing what it's doing? I've seen several videos where people are saying, oh, golly, 200,000 houses come on the market in Florida, blah, 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 blah. Real estate market across the country, guys, is still where it's at because interest rates are too high. Affordability is a problem. And affordability affects what? Demand. Affordability affects demand. And demand is down because interest rates are too high. Now, more homes may be coming on the market because people are saying, you know something, this may be our last time to get our golden parachute. I got $300,000 worth of equity. I got $400,000 worth of equity. I don't know what's going to happen to this housing market. I don't know if it'll have a correction, but hey, might as well go ahead and deploy the golden parachute. Let me go ahead and deploy the golden parachute. It's happening in the community that I live in right now. And what you see in the community I live in here is people who bought their homes like 2007, 2008. You know what I'm saying? They bought it for like dirt cheap, but it's in a really good community with $1 million houses all around them. And they might have paid like $370, $375 back in the day. But now you got all these $1 million houses everywhere, brand new, like my house, 1.3 mil. My next door neighbor, 1.3. My two neighbors one of my neighbors across the street, 1.7. But you got these other houses in here that are like $370,000 these people paid for them back in the day. They're deploying the golden parachute. These people are saying, hey, it's time. I've been here 15 years, 17 years. Deploy the golden parachute. Give me my money. That's what's happening in Florida. That's what's happening. And it might happen across the country. I don't know. But what I do know is when the interest rates come down, demand is going to shoot up. That's what's going to happen. When interest rates come down, demand is going to shoot up. But the question you got to ask yourself, who does that benefit? Who does that benefit? Does reducing interest rates benefit the bank? A lot of people say, no, why would it benefit the bank with reduced interest rates? When interest rates are up, banks make more money. You're absolutely right. But here's what you're missing. If you ain't got nobody can afford to borrow the money that you got in your bank that belongs to you and our deposits, how much money can you make? If I can't afford to get you 8% loan, that money just sits there on the sideline. Or they go to extreme measures and they start doing stuff on the secondary market with your money and all kind of crazy stuff to make money. See, when money is too expensive to borrow, guys, I don't care how much money the bank has to lend. They don't have any borrowers. So for the banking industry at this point, they're probably not your tier 1 guys, but probably these regional, maybe tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 banks are saying, listen, reduce these interest rates so we can get these 99%ers back in the game. Right now, these 99%ers can't borrow no money. Interest rates too high. The banks ain't stupid, guys. The 1% ain't stupid. The 1% will benefit when interest rates are decreased. Why? Because now the 99% can get back into participating into buying liabilities and getting debt again. So the 1% wins. They win. They're going to win when rates start coming down. It will help the housing market, but it will help the 1%. I guarantee you the 1% owns a lot of this real estate that they've collected over the last several years. I've told you guys in prior videos about these renter communities that big hedge funds and Wall Street firms are having national home builders build 1,000-unit single-family homes and what they call renter communities. What do you think they're gearing up to do when demand goes back up and rates go down? How much you want to bet those 1,000 single-family home communities, these big hedge funds, these big institutional investors, these Wall Street firms, how many of you think going to put them on the market for sale and make a killing? I'm just telling you. And while they wait, guess what they're going to do? Charge rent. You got to understand, guys, 1,000 cookie cutter houses versus 100 cookie cutter houses. If I'm a home builder and I got scale, if I buy material for 1,000 cookie cutter houses versus material for 100 cookie cutter houses, who do you think is going to get the better price? The guy that's building 100 cookie cutters or the guy that's building 1,000 cookie cutters? The guy that's building 1,000 cookie cutters is the one that's going to get the big discount. If I'm a material manufacturer, if I'm a concrete manufacturer, if I'm a lumber manufacturer, if I'm a nail manufacturer, if I'm a whatever manufacturer in the housing market for construction, I get a better deal at scale. If I got 1,000 units versus 100 units, the guy with the 1,000 units gets better deals. And the guy who builds the 1,000 already got one buyer. The 1%. So all of those will flood the market once rates start coming down. Why? Because now the 99% can afford to go out and borrow money to get further and further and further into debt. The whole key, guys, is to keep you in debt up to your eyeballs for as long as they can. Ideally, they'd like to keep you there from 18 to retirement. They want to keep you in debt, believing liabilities are assets. Problem is, here's the test. Here's the test on anything you own. Here's the test to determine if it's a liability or an asset. Does it create income? That's all you got to do, guys. It's pretty simple. Does it create income? If it doesn't create income, it's not an asset. At best, it's a dead asset. If it creates income, it's an asset. See, assets create income. That's my point here, guys. That's what financial freedom is all about. That's what's moving from what? This over here, which is what? The matrix. See, right now, they got you in the matrix and they got you participating in the bust economy. Matrix goes hand in hand with the bust economy. Investor / assets that generate income equals wealth. You participate in the boom economy because your assets pay for everything you need to live your lifestyle. Most of us are living in the matrix from a mindset standpoint because we get the money that we earn and we do what with it? What do we do with it? What's the first thing we do with it? Do we pay ourselves first? No. What do? We pay the 1% first. That's what most of us do when we get this money, right? When we get this money from whoever pays us, controls our financial destiny, we get this money from whoever pays us, and then we turn around and we give it right back to them. That's what we do. We get this money from the people that pay us and we turn around and give it right back to them. That's not a way to build wealth, guys. The way to build wealth is if I get the money from somebody that pays me, the first thing I should do is pay myself first through investing so that I can build assets and build wealth. At some point, I don't have to worry about these people. See, at some point, I ain't got to worry about no job recession. Why? Because I got assets that going to take care of me. I ain't worried about this job. I ain't worried about no job recession. The people that need to worry about the job recession are people who are down here in this bust economy. The people got to worry about a recession, a job recession, or the people that are up here, the people that are over here in this matrix. That's who got to be worried about it. People that are building wealth and have gained and built a level of wealth, they are in control of their own financial destiny. Because I already told you, whoever pays you controls your financial destiny. Whoever pays you. Either my assets can pay me or the 1% can pay me. That's it. Now, the 1% would love to pay you from 18 to whenever you retire. They'd love to do that. And they'd love for you to turn right around and give it back to them. And that's what most people do. Oh, shoot, I make $100,000 a year, but I live on $105,000 a year. What good is you making $100,000 a year when you live on 105? Oh, I make $750,000 a year. But what good is it when you live on $800,000 a year? Okay, you got a bunch of stuff. Great. None of it produces income. So when people tell me about what they make, first thing I ask them is, well, how much do you live on? I don't care how much you make. What I care about is what you keep and able to multiply. That's where the real test sets in. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And you're able to multiply to create wealth for yourself. So you can get out of this bust economy. You can get yourself out of the matrix. And I'm telling you, on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, just understand what's happening here, guys. Just understand what's happening. So what is the solution? And then we're going to wrap this thing up. The solution is you have to build wealth. And how do you do that? The number one thing you got to do is make up in your mind that you're not going to pay the 1% before you pay yourself. That's what you got to make up in your mind. You got to change some behaviors and you got to add some financial principles to your life. That's what you got to do. Y'all know, guys, I always come with solutions. I'm telling you what my opinion is on this week's meeting that Jay Powell will have with the Fed. It's just my opinion. Don't have to be your opinion. But one thing I stress more than anything is understand what's going on in this world that you live in, especially this financial world. Control the things that you can control. Let the things go that you can't control. Worry more about you and your family than someone else and their family. We got a problem with that in this country. We love to get in somebody else's fight, but we won't even settle the fight in our own family. But we try to help settle somebody else's fight. We love that. We love a cause, but we won't take care of our own causes. But we will go out and try to take care of everybody else's causes. My life at home is raggedy, but I want to make somebody else's life better. No, start at home. Stop worrying about the 1% and get yourself over here and become an investor and get your financial life correct and right. 1% ain't going to do it. Congress ain't going to do it. The feds ain't going to do it. They serve at the pleasure of the 1%. I'm just telling you. Any of those elected officials, anybody you see on mainstream media, on any of these talk shows, guys, that are owned by the 1%, they serve at the pleasure of the 1%. I don't care who they are. Oh, this guy, he signed $100 million. He's rich. No, if somebody gave him that $100 million to have his podcast on their platform. Somebody gave him that. Somewhere in that contract, I guarantee you, it tells him there's certain things you ain't gonna say. There's certain things you are gonna say. I guarantee you that. You think somebody gonna give somebody $100 million and not have some stipulations that they can control them? Come on, guys. Really? All I'm telling you is you better figure out how to think for yourself, especially when it comes to your wealth. You better figure out how to think for yourself when it comes to building wealth. And you better get yourself a game plan together. Block out all this noise right here that's going to be all over everything over these next 2 days. Oh, Jay Powell went to Congress and Congress tried to do this and that's all a smoke screen. The real meeting, you won't even know what happened in a real meeting. You won't even know. You won't even get privy to it. Not to the real meeting. You'll get privy to the meeting that they show on TV on C-SPAN, or the little clips on CNN or MSNBC or Fox. Don't listen to none of them, man. All of them people are controlled by the 1%. All of them. Why? Why are they controlled by the 1%? Because that's who pays them. That's who pays them, guys. Oh, nobody tells me what to say. That's a lie. Ain't nobody paying you $5, $6, $7, $8, $10 million a year for you to get up there and say stuff that's contrary to what they believe. Are you serious? That's why I keep telling y'all, guys, you just got to use this. You got to use common sense. No one's going to pay any of those personalities that you see on these major networks that kind of money for them to just sit up there and say whatever they want to say. Are you serious? No, you're going to say exactly what I need you to say, or you're not going to get this $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million. Period. And guess what they're going to choose? 100 out of 100 times, they're going to choose the money. I promise you, they take the money. They're going to take the money. They're going to say what them people tell them to say because they're going to take the money. Why? They're trying to get to their dream. They're trying to get to their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow too. It's just the way life is, man. Why won't you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Why won't you do the same for you? When your favorite people do it, but you won't do it. You rather invest in your favorite people than yourself. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. And that's one of the reasons why Congress and the Fed, they're not going to save you. You got to save yourself. So, wealth transfer blueprint. 3 investments that I'm going to be buying over the next 10 years that I believe give myself a chance to double my net worth. Where did I get that from? I got it from the 1%. I just, like I said, breadcrumbs. See, they drop these little financial breadcrumbs everywhere. And all I do is just follow the financial breadcrumbs to building wealth because they drop them. I just follow them. I just follow them. They lead me to more wealth. I just follow them. So the 3 big boy blue chip investments, like I said, if you want those, send me an email. Email address down in the description box. Just send me an email and say, hey, Richard, I want those 3 blue chip, big boy, paper asset investments that you're going to be buying over the next 10 years that you believe is going to double your net worth. Send me those. Now, again, guys, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Now, if you want to copy my plan, hey, no one's stopping you from copying my plan because I copied it off the 1%. It's not original to me. I just copied it from the 1%. I just use their little financial breadcrumbs to build my wealth. That's all I do. And I try to get on this YouTube channel and give you guys some of those financial breadcrumbs, or what I like to call golden nuggets. And these 3 assets I'm buying, I believe are golden nuggets over the next 10 years. Matter of fact, I'm deploying some more money in today when I get done. I got to work on my taxes for 2023. And then I'm going to make some investments into SPLG, which is my S&P 500 ETF. I'm going to make another investment into FTEC, which is my information technology ETF investment. I'm going to be deploying some money into those again today. So my goal is to do what? Earn money in my multiple ways of earning money. Right? I keep telling y'all, how do you protect yourself? Multiple streams of income. That's how you protect yourself from the 1%, especially when you're in the building stage of wealth. You protect yourself in the building stage of wealth by having multiple streams of income. Never, ever rely on one stream of income, guys. You make yourself too vulnerable. You put yourself in a compromising position if these people fire you. Then you got no way to take care of yourself. You got nowhere to invest to build wealth. So always have multiple streams of income. I have multiple streams of income. Even at the age that I am and with the wealth that I've already built, I have multiple streams of income. I don't make my income in one way. I make it in 4 or 5 different ways. Why is that? Because I don't want to put myself in a position where if one stream is cut off, I'm financially paralyzed. I don't want to put myself in that position, so I always keep multiple streams of income. You need to do the same thing when you're in the building stage of wealth. And then you need to get that money, and you need to pay yourself first. 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Pay myself first is simply I take the first money from my net income, direct deposit it into my bank account. I take 20% of it, 30% of it, 40% of it, 50% of it, and I put it in investments. And then what's left, I live my lifestyle. Well, how do you get to that if you got all this debt and you're living on more than what you make? Do an inventory of your crap that you own and sell it all. If I'm living in a house, if I'm driving a car, if I got more toys that ain't producing no income, sell them, get rid of them, start over, hit the reset button, and then you can live on less than what you make. Problem, people live on more than what they make because they don't want to hit the financial reset button. They want to sit there and act like it's just going to magically clear itself up for them. Oh, it's not. It's not going to magically clear itself up. No, you got to hit the reset button. Reset button means take an inventory of everything that you own, and if it has value, sell it. That's how you hit the reset button. That's how you right-size yourself. That's how you go from living on more than what you make to living on less than what you make. You hit the reset button. But most of us won't pay that financial price. We will never pay that financial price to hit the reset button because we're too concerned about what somebody else would think about us if I had to downsize and move, or if I had to sell my car, or if I couldn't go out to happy hour, or if I couldn't go on that girl's trip or that guy's trip. We're too worried about what people will say about us. And you know what that is? I've already told y'all guys there are 3 financial killers. There's 3 of them. 3 of them. Fear, pride, and greed. Those are your 3 financial killers. Let me say that one more time. Fear, pride, and greed. Fear is, oh, I don't know anything about investing. I might lose all of my money. Oh, I gotta know everything about the stock market. I gotta know exactly what an ETF is. I gotta know exactly what an index fund is. I gotta know exactly what a mutual fund is. I gotta know exactly what an individual stock is. I gotta know exactly. And you never do anything. That's just fear. It's keep you broke. So that's the first financial killer. Second financial killer is pride. I can't let my neighbors know I'm up to my eyeballs in credit card debt. I can't let my neighbors know I'm living paycheck to paycheck. There's no way I can sell my SUV. There's no way I can sell my luxury sports car. There's no way we can downsize. Can't do it. I don't know what people would say about me. That's pride. Pride gonna keep you broke. Pride. You're worrying about what somebody else thinks about you. That's pride. Especially when you're struggling financially. That's pride. Pride keeps you broke. And then greed. It's the third financial killer. Well, all you think about is money. All you think about is money. You put money before everything. The more I can make, the more I can spend. The more stuff I can accumulate. He who accumulates the most stuff wins. That's greed. Greed is going to keep you broke. Why? Because you're going to constantly take every penny you earn and chase and chase and chase and chase, trying to be the one with the most things. And then ultimately you're going to be on your empire of things, no wealth, nobody there with you but you. That's greed. Those are your 3 financial killers, guys. I don't know if any of you fall into any of those categories, but if you do, my recommendation is hit the reset button. Hit that financial reset button. Sell all of that crap. Start over. Get yourself right-sized so you're living on less than what you make. You're taking 20, 30, 40%, 50% of everything you earn, and you're putting it in assets to build wealth. That's how you get ultimate freedom, guys. That's how you get ultimate freedom. For those of you that want freedom, that's how you do it. See, if you want to make major changes in your life, in your financial life, you got to make major changes in your financial life. If it was easy, we wouldn't have a bust economy down here. If it was easy, we wouldn't have as many people that we have that are in the matrix. If it was easy, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a complete reprogramming of your filter system. It's a complete overhaul of your filter system. A lot of you guys, and I talked about this yesterday in the live, yesterday morning when we talked about that Wells Fargo money study, they asked a bunch of folks, how much time do you spend on a weekly basis, taking care of your financial stuff? Your budget, your financial goals, managing your money. How many hours a week do you do that? On average, people said about 3 hours a week. Then they asked them, well, how many hours do you spend on social media? About 9 hours. So let me get this straight. You spend 9 hours on social media doing nothing but consuming, and in most cases, garbage, consuming, filling the filter system up with just garbage. Of course, whatever goes into the filter system comes out of the filter system. So I spend about 9 hours a week. Filter system is bombarded with stuff I can't control, stuff I really shouldn't be looking at, all kind of garbage, right? But I only spend 3 hours a week trying to get to freedom. I take 9 hours a week to stay into the matrix, right? I spend 9 hours a week in the matrix, just continuing to go deeper and deeper into the matrix. But I spend 3 hours a week over here trying to get to freedom. I spend 9 hours a week staying in bondage, financial bondage, 3 hours a week trying to get to financial freedom. Financial bondage, financial freedom. Wow. That blew me away. But you know what? Once I really thought about it, I said, no, that's about right. That's about us. That's about us. That's exactly what we do. Yep, we're on social media and other people's business. Yep, fighting battles that we shouldn't be fighting. Yep, paying for crap that people promote, make them wealthier. Yep, that's about us. Yep. But when it comes to our own financial freedom, we rather not deal with that, not deal with the truth, because why? We don't want to give up anything. We don't want to give up anything because we know it's going to require us giving up something in order to get ourselves over here as an investor and start buying assets to build wealth. We got to give up something right now. And the problem is a lot of us don't want to give up anything financially. We don't want to give up anything. We don't want to give up the vacations. We don't want to give up the car that's really too expensive and we should be really taking that money to build wealth. We don't want to give that up. We don't want to give up whatever level of prestige that we think we have in our little friend group. We want people to think we're doing well and the perfect couple and all this other crap, which we're not. But we want people to think that. See, that's what we're after. We ain't after freedom. We're after just somebody give me some edification. Somebody give me some compliments. Somebody make me feel good. We don't go make our own selves feel good. We want other people to make us feel good. That's what we seek and look for, right? We look for other people to glorify us, right? We want somebody to give us a compliment. This is the stuff we chase. And that's the reason why the 1% keep us in the matrix longer than we need to be in the matrix, because they know what we're looking for. We ain't looking for freedom. We're looking for somebody to tell us we're cute. We're looking for somebody to tell us we're handsome. We're looking for somebody to tell us that it's going to be okay. It's okay. You'll do better. It'll work out. Oh, I'll help you. That's what we're looking for. Problem is, ain't nobody going to help you. Not with the problems that you have or I have. I got to solve those problems. You got to solve yours. One of the ways we solve it is by hitting the reset button in our life. Whether it be finances, whether it be spiritual, whether it be mental, whether it be relationships, whether it be health, we got to hit the reset button and take control of our own life. Stop looking for somebody else to take control of your life for you. It's not going to ever happen, guys. We have to take control of our financial life in every aspect of our life. My goal is to be better today than I was yesterday. To be better tomorrow than I am today. Those are my goals. Every single day when I wake up. Why do I sit up here and do these live streams every single day? Number one, I love doing them. That's number one. I love doing them. I love giving my opinion because I think there are people out there that I can help with my opinion. So that's why I do it. People first, money second. But I'm also smart enough to know if I help enough people get what they want, I ultimately get what I want. So I do it. I love doing it. There's not one morning I wake up and say, I don't want to do a live stream. Whenever I get to that point, then I'll stop doing it. But until then, y'all got me every day, whoever want to rock with me. And like I said, we're going to talk about current events, but it ain't going to be it's going to be financial stuff that I believe will help my audience. And I believe this information I shared with you today, if you understand what's going on with the Fed, if you understand what's going on with Congress, if you understand how this country really works, really who is behind that curtain. Any of you guys ever seen The Wizard of Oz? Maybe if you're my age, you have. But the whole premise of the movie is to get to the wizard. Because if I can get to the wizard, he's going to give me courage. He's going to give me, courage, a heart, and then it was another one. Courage, heart. It was three things. It was a scarecrow, a lion, and something else. It was something else. It was three of them. But all of them had something they wanted to get to that wizard because they thought the wizard could give it to them, right? Whether it be courage, whether it be, it was three things. It had been a long time since I seen it. Some of you guys in the chat, the Tin Man, that's it. It was the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. So you had the Cowardly Lion, you had the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. One wanted a brain, I guess. One wanted courage. One wanted something else. But nevertheless, all of them were on this yellow brick road with this lady named Dorothy and this dog. And they were trying to get to the Wizard of Oz because they believed that wizard could give them everything they needed. And guess what? When they got there and they pulled back the curtain, they saw this little guy who didn't look like no wizard. And he couldn't give them anything. That's how most of us lead our life. That's how most of us lead our life. Chasing something that ain't real. And when we get there, we pull back the curtain And we're like, what? Is it this? Can you help me? Not really. I can't help you. My point is, guys, we got to depend on us. Not some fictitious Wizard of Oz hiding behind some curtain in some make-believe world. That's not going to save us. You save you by putting some fundamental behaviors in place, by following some fundamental financial principles, right? That's how you save yourself. If you're willing to do that, you will change everything in your life. You will change everything in your life. If you do that with your health, if you do that with your mental, if you do that with your relationships, if you do that with your spiritual, and if you do that with your finances, hit that reset button and take control of your own life. Stop letting people speak things into your life that you don't agree with. Stop. Stop spending so much time on social media, fighting battles for other people who care nothing about you. Stop. Take that energy, refocus it back on you and your family, and get your house in order. Stop trying to get other people's house in order. We got a problem with that in this country. We will neglect our own battles, but try to fight everybody else's battles. But our own battles are unresolved. Oh, I got unresolved family issues, but I try to go out here and fix everybody else's family issues. We got to stop it, guys. We have to change this. And it starts, though, with us. I keep telling y'all, it's between these two ears. Everything you desire in your life starts between these two ears. Right here. Everything that you desire starts between these two ears. You got to change this filter system. Once you change the filter system, then you got to do what? Commit to taking action to get where you really need to be. And in my opinion, it's freedom. In every shape, form, or fashion, I want freedom. Whether it be in my spiritual life, whether it be in my relationships, whether it be in my mental, whether it be in my health, whether it be in my finances. I want freedom. Period. I gotta have freedom. In all 5 areas of my life. What do you want? It really don't matter what I want. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But what do you want? Listen, guys, you can go on YouTube and all these other places and listen to all these little inspirational, oh, golly, I'm gonna run. Listen to all of that, guys. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. See, motivation without action is a waste of time. Motivation without action is a waste of time. So what am I on YouTube listening to all these little motivational, oh, David Scroggins, I love him. He has great, but you do nothing with it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a waste of time. Motivation without action is a waste of time. So please, please, please take action. Do something today. Make a decision today. You're going to take action to start doing what? Hitting that reset button in your life. And have the courage. And have the courage to give up these things that don't matter. Have the courage. See, giving up something takes courage. It takes courage. Give up something. Give up something so that you can make your life better tomorrow. Give up something today that will make your life better tomorrow. Give up something today. What will you give up today? Somebody in the chat before we get out of here, please tell me, what will you give up today to make your life better tomorrow? I just want to see anybody in the chat who's willing to give up something today to make their life better tomorrow. I see one, fear, good one. I'm giving up Twitter. I'm giving up social media. Perfect. Perfect. That's perfect. Fast food, perfect. Consumption, perfect. Bad habits, perfect. Only thing I would ask you to do is define those bad habits. Don't just say bad habits. Define them. Write them down. Put them on your mirror in your bathroom so that you can reconfirm every single day, I'm giving this crap up. Define them. Be specific. I'm giving up my BMW X5 in December of 2023. I gave it up. Perfect. It's all about political fights and social media. Perfect. Procrastinating. Again, don't just say procrastinating. Define it. Be specific. These are the things I've been procrastinating on. I'm giving these things up. I'm going to start taking on everything right now. Credit card debt. Perfect. I'm giving up some friends. I would. If they're not on the same page as I'm on, and they're not going down that financial freedom pathway, I'm giving them up. I'll love them from a distance. I gotta love them from a distance. If you ain't on the same wavelength I'm on and going in the same direction I'm going, I will love you from a distance. But I'm not gonna let you keep me down. I'm not gonna let you deny me the things that really belong to me. I was put here to be a king and a queen. I was put here to flourish. Not be down here in this bust economy, struggling with debt, struggling with paycheck to paycheck living, struggling with no emergency fund, struggling with no, that's not why I was put here. I'm put here to be a king and a queen and to flourish. But we got to make up in our mind between the two ears in our filter system. We got to make up in the filter system that we're going to make this work. And we can. How do you know we can? Because I did. And I'm just like you. I'm no smarter than you. I'm just a guy who decided I'm going to hit the reset button and focus on changing my filter system. And I just took one day at a time, guys. It didn't happen overnight. I took one day at a time. But guess what started happening? Every day I took that positive step, I got stronger. Every day I took another step, I got even stronger. And before you know it, mentally, I was stronger. Mentally, I was so strong. I knew exactly what I needed to accomplish and how to do it. And I just took it day by day. Every day getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I would tell you guys, if you hit the reset button and you really, really, really laser focus yourself and you put together some goals and you put together an action plan and you take it day by day, every day I want to be better than I was yesterday. Every day I want to be better than I was yesterday. And then what do? You hold yourself accountable. Every night before you go to bed, you have and give yourself a scorecard. Okay, Richard, what did you do today to get yourself one step closer to freedom? What did you do today? And then I would write it down. I would journal it. This is what I did today. I got to be honest with myself. I didn't move the needle today. And here's why I didn't move the needle. I got distracted. I got in somebody else's business that I shouldn't have got in, and that took over my whole day. I allowed somebody to speak something in my life, and it took over my whole day. I listened to something on the radio. I watched something on television. It got into the filter system, and it ruined my day. See, I was honest with myself. Okay, Richard, you failed today. Get yourself back up, dust yourself back off. What are you going to do tomorrow to correct that? You know something? I'm not going to listen to the radio when I go to work tomorrow morning. I'm not going to even turn it on. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to read something positive. See, this is what I'm telling y'all, guys. This is how we have to approach every single day, just like this. We got to approach every day like that. We got to be honest with ourselves. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourself, guys. You cannot lie to yourself. You can lie to the world, but you cannot lie to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself if you're going to get yourself to freedom. You can't lie to yourself anymore. You cannot lie to yourself anymore, guys. We can't. Time's running out. Time is running out for a lot of us. And I'm not talking about anything morbid. I'm just talking about from a financial freedom standpoint. Time's running out for us. Some of us are 40, 50, 60, 70. And we're just starting this journey. Time's running out. But here's what I want you to understand. No matter where you're at or what age you are, it's a state of mind. See, it's not about the money. It's about your lifestyle. It's about your state of mind. That's where the real freedom is. The money is just a bridge. The money is just a tool. It's a medium of exchange. What we're really talking about here, is this. The state of mind that we're in all 5 areas of our life: spirituality, health, mental, right? Relationships, and financial freedom. These 5 things. And add whatever you want to add to it, but these are my 5 things. I got to be free in all 5 of those areas, guys. But it starts here. Right? It starts here. Hit that reset button today, guys. Hit the reset button. Get your plan together. Rock with me. Every day I'll be here to support you. Every day I will be here to support you. I will be here with information. I will be here to encourage you. I will be here with solutions. Every day. I won't let you down. If you rock with me, I will not let you down. I will be here every day for you. Every day. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Thank you very much. I know I've taken way too much time, but I thought I just needed to get that last little bit out because it's critical. It's critical. In my opinion, it's critical. If you want up to 15 free stocks from Mumu, guys, you got to click on that link down in the description box. Mumu is going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you open a new Mumu brokerage account. You put $100 in there, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. You put $1,000 in there, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. Guess what? That's the brokerage app I use every single day to build wealth. I use it every day to build wealth. I want you guys to start thinking about building wealth, getting to your freedom, but you're going to need a brokerage app to help you do that. If you want to copy my plan, buy those 3 big boy blue chip paper assets I'm buying that I believe will double my net worth in 10 years. Copy my plan. Send me an email. Let me know you want to copy my plan. Richard, send me those 3 big boy blue chip ETFs, index funds, and individual stocks that you're buying, and then I'll send them out to you. Again, guys, Mumu link down in the description box. Go ahead and click on that Mumu link. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. And I hope and I pray that you guys will be back here tomorrow for some more information, right? That's what I am. I'm an information giver. And like I said, I'm not going to let you down. I'll be here with that information. But most importantly, I'm going to be here with solutions. I'm going to be here with support and encouragement, because that's what it's all about, right? We encourage each other, right? We need each other. I need you guys to encourage me, and I'm going to encourage you. We all need each other in this together if we're going to get to this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and control these 5 things in our life that I just mentioned. We need each other. Let's rock with each other. I'll be here every day. I need you to be here every day, right? Let's agree on that. Lock it in with a thumbs up if you don't mind, guys. Lock it in with a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. You appreciate me delivering this information. Whether you agree with it all or not, that's okay. It's my opinion. You're certainly more than welcome to come up with your own opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I believe is important and what has helped me get to my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and help me in these 5 areas of my life. Those 5 areas of my life, I've given you what has helped me get there, one day at a time, over the last 25 years of doing what it takes to control my own destiny, to control my own financial power, and to control my own time. All I'm asking you guys is to consider that. So lock it in with a thumbs up if you appreciate the content. I appreciate y'all stopping by the channel. If you want to subscribe, hey, feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit the post notification bell so that you know every time I put up new content. And thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.